The next item to come before the council this evening is Agenda Bill 6735, Plastic Bag Ban Initiative Petition. And that is coming forward with a recommendation of adoption of a resolution placing the initiative petition to a vote of the public at the February 2014 special election date. Councilmember Winterstein.
So I see our Director of Office of Sustainability is here. Was there any additional information that was going to be presented tonight regarding this issue? Okay.
Okay, that was a question. Other questions? Councilmember Butler, I saw your hand.
I would move to approve resolution number
2013-14.
Second.
I'm sorry.
Resolution number 2013-14, directing the initiative petition entitled Repeal of the Plastic Bag Ban and Forced Paper Bag Charge to a vote of the public at the February 2014 special election date.
And as one of the original no votes on this, I would second that.
All right, so moved by Butler, seconded by Barber. Discussion and questions from the council. Councilmember Scher.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few remarks. I fully support public involvement and interest in legislation, but it strikes me as disproportionate that a petition led by interests outside our community can gather signatures from just 7% of our total population and cause us to spend $50,000 on a ballot measure. I think this experience might be an opportunity to reflect on whether the use of an initiative process under the municipal code in IMC 112010 is reasonable. Alternatively, however, we can avoid an election by simply eliminating the ban. But there is a significant string attached, namely that future legislation on this issue would remain subject to a public vote. I still believe that a user fee, not a ban, is the better policy. A fee would continue to give customers a choice, including plastic, while encouraging the use of reusable bags, which don't typically rip apart, at no cost. Additionally, the funds from a fee could be reinvested in broader environmental projects rather than just a profit windfall for businesses that used to give away paper bags for free. This model started in Ireland and has been successful in Washington, D.C. But even if we were to adopt the repeal and pursue my recommendation, we'd still be stuck having to spend money and hold an election based on the petition that's before us. Given my lack of confidence that this alternative model would even be considered, I'd rather just put the initiative decision to the public now and see what the result of that will be. I do have one proposed amendment to offer, though. Retail establishments smaller than 7,500 square feet currently have until March 1st of 2014 to comply with the current city code. Holding an election on February 11th, 2014 provides very little time for small businesses to know what the outcome of that will be. This would cause confusion to owners in not knowing what stock to purchase. So, with that, I have an amendment, and I would move to amend the resolution and add the following words at the end. Quote, and amending IMC 8.05.070 to extend the compliance deadline for businesses under 7,500 square feet to August 1st, 2014, end quote.
I am looking to the city attorney. Oh, it hasn't been seconded, sorry. Okay, moved by Scher, and was that seconded by Forkner? City attorney?
Yes, I would recommend that that be the subject of a, first of all, to amend the ordinance, you have to pass, it has to be in an ordinance. This is a resolution. And it has to deal, it deals with the placing on the ballot of the initiative petition. So my recommendation would be, if that's the will of the council, that the administration could bring back an ordinance at the next meeting for you to consider and pass. and I don't think there would be any real loss of time. Either that or this evening we'd have to draft up an ordinance to accomplish it.
As the maker of the motion, I have no objection to coming back at a later time, but it certainly depends on whether my colleagues would support this particular course of action for the reasons that I stated.
Does the seconder have to?
Does the seconder accept withdrawing that?
Yes.
With the understanding that there will be preparation of something that would extend that timeline? Okay,
I would accept that.
all right, all right. Further discussion or questions on this particular topic, the resolution as presented? Any additional questions or discussion? Councilmember Winterstein and then Councilmember Goodman.
All right, thank you. So I was a supporter of the resolution as originally proposed, and after giving it, much thought. In fact, it was planned to come before the council, and feeling that the public needed greater opportunity to comment and give us input, I made the motion to actually delay the vote, and I think we got almost 2 more months under our belt from the original intent to vote, and that afforded opportunity for a number of our citizens to comment, and just kind of rough kind of calculation that part of my consideration in support of the proposal that we adopted, or the ordinance that we adopted last year, was that over 60% of the citizens that contacted me were in favor of that ordinance. So, as an elected representative, my duty is to make informed decisions and to use both my own judgment and the consideration of my constituents when we make decisions. And trust me that was followed that duly, and I take that very seriously. It is, we're also a city of laws. And there are means and methods for this type of event to take place. Signatures were gathered following, proper protocol. They were submitted, they were validated, and now the law dictates that we consider these 2 options, either accepting the petition as it is written or putting it in front of a vote. Those are the 2 options. I'm in favor of putting it in front of a vote because, based upon my experience and the data that I have, is that in talking with and hearing from constituents, that a significant majority do support the bag ban as it already is. And so therefore I am definitely going to support this going in front of a vote. And I can accept whatever outcome there is. And because I do also believe one of the things, we're all in the same boat. We all believe in a democracy, in that the will of the people should be served, and we're a representative democracy, and that's what we sit up here to do. And there are occasions when we must put the vote in front of the entire public, and we've gotten to that place here on this particular matter, and I can accept that, and we'll have this vote, and whichever way it results, I will accept those results. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Goodman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Like Councilman Winterstein, I too was instrumental in delaying the vote by a couple of months, because I felt also that it hadn't had enough time to sort of be out there in the public. And during that 2 months, when we got more feedback, got more public comment, I too kept track, and it was close to 60% of the people who were in our community, not the people who came from or emailed from other cities far away, Bellingham, Tacoma, many other places. I kept track of just the people here in our community. It was nearly 60% supported the ban, and so that played a large role in my decision making. I do support putting this before the voters. I do have questions about the cost. Can we get some clarification on the cost? We don't have an annexation vote election set yet, because we're still going through the process, but can we get some clarity on what would happen if we had a couple of things on the ballot in February? What does that cost look like?
There are 2, there would be, if the annexation vote went forward, 2 separate votes which are not overlapping in the people who would be voting on them. So it would not be, at least as I understand it, possible to combine the costs for one election, because there are in fact two different elections taking place. But I see our director of,
David Fujimoto, Director of Office of Sustainability. My understanding is that the estimate that's in the agenda bill is a conservative estimate. It's the cost for the city to host an election for this particular ballot issue. Now, if there's a second ballot item that covers the same boundaries and same voters within the city, that cost could conceivably go down. For example, the school district is considering a ballot measure for that same election. We don't know the exact cost for that, but the number in here is probably a conservative number.
So if I'm understanding you, the agenda bill tonight says, King County Elections has indicated the estimated cost for the special election regarding the bag ban to be $43,000 to $47,000 plus $2,100 to $2,800, including voters' pamphlet costs, which are optional. And so, am I understanding this correctly, that if we were to have a Klahani PAA vote on the same, during the same election, those could be doubling those costs? They wouldn't be wrapped up into, you wouldn't get a twofer here.
My understanding is that the Klahani, I don't know that would be double the cost. The Klahani they gave a number based on a cost per registered voter.
Okay.
And so they didn't have a number, at least as far as I understand, for the total number of registered voters in Klahani. So we don't know what that number is currently. This was based on the number of registered voters in the city of Issaquah. But that was based on, again, a per registered voter number for a ballot measure. So that's why it's not clear
Okay.
that cost would probably come down if you had multiple ballot measures with the same registered voters.
But there would be a separate cost associated with that one.
With Klahani,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
other questions? Or discussion? Any other questions or discussion? Is council ready to act then on the topic, which is resolution number 2013-14? Directing the initiative petition entitled Repeal of the Plastic Bag Ban and Forced Paper Bag Charge to a vote of the public at the February 2014 special election date. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passed unanimously.